Bear Down Bears fans, question on the table today: is the Velus Jones experiment finally over? Let's talk about it starting now. Now, if you are new to the channel, please like the video. Please subscribe to the page. We do talk Chicago sports daily on this channel. We have a daily sports talk show Monday through Friday. So make sure that you are in tune with us, man. Here's the thing. Tough questions have to be asked. That's what preseason is for. But we saw a very interesting preseason game, one that was very filled with excitement. We'll talk about that more on the daily show later today. But it's a tough question because, you know, these are guys' careers, these are guys' lives, but should Velus Jones be cut after what we saw on Sunday? And you have to go back and look at what we saw last season. And I think that two things can be true in this situation, right? Velus has done an excellent job putting himself in a position for a redemption story in training camp. He's had a really, really good training camp, both from the wide receiver position and the kick returner position. But there's just something about the lights coming on that seems to throw his game off. And if you can't perform when the lights are brightest, that's where you kind of have to start asking these tough questions, right? Velus Jones yet again fumbles another punt. And I mean, it was one of those that was a no-brainer. The ball bounces straight up. He puts his hands out. All you got to do in that situation is call poison. I talked with Jason McKee about it on the post-game show on ESPN 1000. I asked him, you know, is that a situation where you just call fire or poison, whatever it is, and get the heck out of the way? He said, absolutely. You can't put yourself in that position, especially coming off of what we saw last season from you. And so for me, I do think that the Velus Jones experiment is coming close to being at an end. And it sucks, right? Because even though I wasn't somebody who was a big fan of Velus, everybody saw the cut him clip from last season, right? It's one of my most viewed videos on TikTok. It's one of my most viewed shorts on here. And we all saw the video, right? Where I end up losing my mind saying to cut him after the fumble in the Commanders game. But you do want to see people grow from it, right? And he was a concern that I had coming into the season. I've reported that he had a good camp. He has had a good camp. That's why I say two things can be true, but you also can struggle when those lights come on. And that seems to be the case for Velus Jones here. I don't have a leg to stand on with him. If the Bears do keep him heading into the season, here's the other thing. I do want to look at the Bears a little bit and say, why are we keep trying this guy at punt returner? We keep putting him out there as a punt returner and not as a kick returner. I think that was one of the more telling things that we saw in Sunday's game is Tyler Scott opens up the day as our kick returner on the first play, which, by the way, scares the heck out of me every single time I see Tyler Scott back there because, dog, when I tell you, he reminds me so much of Johnny Knox. Same height, same weight, same number, and the same, like when he got flipped up in the air and guys were bouncing him around in there in that first preseason game, scares the heck out of me. But still, at the end of the day, right, like I think it was very telling of what they feel about Velus Jones in the special teams game where he's not back there on the first kick return, even though he was back there on the depth chart, right, as the number one. They put him out there on the punt return side, and he's never returned punts until he got to the NFL. He always was a kick returner. I get it. You're trying to find a role for him because this guy was a third round pick. It's a bad pick, and I think it's just time to cut bait and accept the fact that at this point, you know, not to say that I don't want to see him succeed, but I just don't feel like that's going to happen here in Chicago. Let me know how you guys feel in the comments below. I'll be down and talking with you as well. Do you feel like Velus Jones should be cut from the team? Do you feel like he's going to make this team? If you're still in support of Velus, drop the reason why. If you feel like he should be cut, drop the reason why. I will be talking with you guys in the comments below. Here's the bottom line for me, right? And I said this on the post-game show for the Chicago Bears. You can't screw up in those moments when there's people behind you that can do the job. You've got Dante Pettis on this team, who I believe still holds the NCAA record for punt returns and kick returns. Maybe it's just punt returns. I believe he still holds the NCAA record for punt returns. You also have Travis Homer, who's returned punts and kickoffs in Seattle. You also have Tyler Scott, who in college returned punts and kickoffs. You also have Treston Ebner, who in college and in the pros has returned punts and kickoffs. And if we continue to go down the list, you've got 4 or 5 guys sitting behind you who can do this job the right way the first time. And that puts you in a really bad situation. It puts you in a situation where we have to question whether you're going to be the guy that's going to be able to go out there and get the job done. And you've also gone out in so many moments and done this. I believe it is 5 fumbles in total for Velus Jones as a whole, 3 of them on the kick return side alone. And now you come into this season and in a preseason game that means nothing, you start things off by fumbling or muffing another punt. It's hard to trust a guy like that. And listen, there's one thing that I believe in life for certain. When people show you who they are, believe them. And I believe that this is who Velus Jones is. I think that he's a guy that can make plays. If he gets the ball in his hand, he can absolutely take off and get to the end zone. I thought he actually could be utilized as a wide receiver gadget guy. But again, the Bears are already have 5 wide receivers that they're for sure taking into the season. Again, right? You got DJ Moore, Darnell Mooney, Chase Claypool, Equinemius St. Brown. And then, you kind of start looking at, Tyler Scott's absolutely going to be there. Those are your 5, right? Then you're looking at between Dante Pettis and Velus Jones. And guess what? If the ball's kicked to Dante, I know Dante can catch it. Because that 6th guy, that 5th and 6th guy, they're going to be the ones that are going to be used more so on the special team side. You might see him get in and be competent. And guess what? Tyler Scott's looked really competent as a receiver. Now, his first showing wasn't great either, right? His first showing on the field didn't catch a big ball there that was thrown his way. Ends up fumbling a ball. It seemed like the confidence got a little shot after that. Like he was kind of like, all right, I'm struggling here. And it just never came back after that. But, it'd be good to see him bounce back, but at a minimum, he's going to be on the team because the Bears just drafted him this season. And so, I think that they've got enough insurance at that wide receiver spot that you're going to keep the guy that's not going to put you in a position that could put you behind the 8 ball. Guess what? We've seen Velus Jones put the team behind the 8 ball in winning situations 3 times. I've said this multiple times on this channel, right? There's a video montage that literally has all the things that it took for the Bears to get the number 1 overall pick. 3 of them are Velus Jones fumbles. That's where your problems start to come in. That's where it starts to seem like a struggle. And that's where my biggest concern comes in, that we're going to be in a big moment. We're going to be in a close game like we were last season, right? Giants game, Washington game. Those are close games. Those are games the Bears could have won. Now, right? Good thing they didn't. We end up with the first overall pick, but those are games that the Bears could have won. And we are put in a terrible situation because of a Velus Jones fumble that puts the other team right on the line. So I think that the experiment in Chicago is over. I do think that if you were going to try him at anything else, right, to me, kick returner would be the spot for him. Punt is dead for sure. But if you're going to keep him around, kick returner wouldn't be a bad spot for me. I wouldn't mind seeing that. I think he's going to do some nice things as a receiver / gadget guy, but I don't know. Right? I don't know. This guy has an issue holding on to the football, and we talked about this all offseason. And right, I think now the hard part is that everybody's on it. Right? I've been saying this the entire offseason that I don't believe in what he's bringing, and I hope that he proves me wrong. Unfortunately, he proved me right, and that's tough. That's tough. That sucks. Sucks to say. Even though it sucks even more because he was having such a good camp, but we'll see what it ends up being, man. Let me know how you guys feel in the comments below. I'll be down there talking with you as well. Should the Chicago Bears cut Velus Jones? As always, it's your boy Pat the Designer back at it again. These are the tough decisions you got to make when you are a Chicago Bears GM and head coach, man. Let me know. I'll be down in the comments with you. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. Bear down. Peace.